What's up everybody, it's Soul Tomato. I make guides, tutorials, and videos for vanilla and modded Crusader Kings III. And today I'm partnering with Paradox Interactive to bring you an in-depth look at the Roads to Power DLC with a focus on the various features of the new administrative or admin government, starting with its most important resource, influence. The easiest way to imagine influence is as a type of currency. It is your primary means of manipulating the political and social standing of yourself and your family within the administrative government. Everything from bolstering a vassal's governance to proposing alliances and petitioning your liege uses or can be boosted with influence. Influence, like other resources such as prestige and piety, has different tiers, each with their own respective bonuses. For influence, this bonus goes towards political scheme success chance. Influence is earned through many events in games such as fulfilling governor duties or blackmailing rivals, while the rate it's gained is increased in a variety of ways as well, such as holding a position on the Emperor's Council, having a bookmaker in your court, or investing in the new dynastic bureaucracy tree. The spending of influence can be done in a number of ways, but the best way is through the new Administrative Government tab, shown as a purple abacus on the right of the screen. This details the realm's themas, the noble families and their ranks, and some quick schemes you can perform against the Emperor, such as requesting a council position or changing your thema administrative type. While it has many different uses, influence is undoubtedly most crucial for the new political scheme system. Political schemes are those used exclusively in an administrative government and allow players to perform a number of actions from slandering their enemies to challenging the status of a powerful family. You start off with a base success chance in these schemes based on a number of parameters, but can get percentage-based chance increases from different avenues such as the influence tier itself, to special holding buildings in your thema. Political schemes will appear by right-clicking on a fellow vassal or the emperor within the realm and operate separately from normal schemes in the intrigue menu. To perform a scheme, you must select how you will balance your agents, and then individually assign those agents from across the empire, either via bribes, using influence, or by giving them a hook on you, among other things. These agents will then work towards executing your scheme with varied progress to not only progress the percentage of success, but to earn something known as advantage, which, if you reach a certain number, let you execute the scheme with a bonus to success. Consider, of course, that you cannot perform schemes within a vacuum, as there will be people working against you, such as your political opponents, for titles, and for your family's good name. Another vital use of schemes is in the admin government's new succession systems. Succession in admin governments is called either appointment for a governor title or acclamation for the emperor. This system assigns a candidate's score for initially eligible persons based on a number of facets for a given title, such as their relation to the holder, their individual skill, or their family rating. For governorships, these are usually family members. The same is true for the emperor, although powerful heads of noble families will also count towards this succession. Individuals can also be added to a line of succession by influencing their candidacy. Once you have yourself or a designated heir in position to take a title, you can then design on how you want to remove the current holder of that title, be it through a classic murder scheme, waiting them out, or by, for example, forcing the governor to step down. Using your influence within these succession systems is capped at a certain influence investment amount per title, based on your family rank and a couple other things. This means a minor family cannot simply push those chosen candidates to the front of a thema's succession just because they have a lot of spendable influence on hand. You can also lessen a political opponent's succession score by running a slander campaign against them, or boosting your own candidate via another scheme. When you or a family member earn one of these positions, they are effectively becoming what is known as a governor. Governors are in charge of a province or thema. You're only allowed to be in charge of one normally, but some are in charge of multiple. While within the admin government, absolute power does reside with the emperor, individual territories and their administrations are divvied up by the emperor between various noble families in a sort of bureaucratic chain in which governors are the backbone. Each governor gets access to the new governor or strategos trait, which has different tiers for improving your governor efficiency and influence earned in that position. It's basically a visual representation of your experience as a governor. Governor efficiency is a percentage-based skill and determines basically how competent you are as a governor. Efficiency is calculated by a number of factors, from your governor trait and character's overall skill, to the upgrades of your family estate and your current thema administrative type. A character's governor efficiency is shown automatically, even if they're not a governor. You can also boost this efficiency through schemes. As for the efficiency percentage itself, it works a bit like legitimacy, so if you have, say, negative 14% like my brother Alexios here, then you will receive a negative 14% debuff to various things like your taxes or the efficiency of your title men-at-arms. And since now feels like as good a time as any, let's briefly discuss what those are. Title men-at-arms are at their most basic men-at-arms that are tied to the province or thema. Think of them as the professional army of that territory, which you can upgrade but cannot take with you upon losing that territory. In addition, there are various administration types that governors have access to, of which there are 6, each with their own various bonuses and drawbacks. To change your Thema administration, you must first ask the Emperor and spend a particular amount of influence for each choice while also meeting its requirements if it has one. Those 6 are balanced, which is essentially the default administration that sees a balance between taxes, levies, and an increase in your governor trait. Civilian, which focuses more on building and taxes within your assigned province, which is a good way to gain legitimacy at the expense of levies and title men-at-arms. Inversely, for military rulers, there is the military administration, which basically does the opposite of civilian, sacrifices taxes and development for increased military capacity and control. Frontier administration is a special admin type only available to Thema on the borders of the empire that touch another realm. It's primarily focused on defense against attack and raids, and also allows the liege to summon you or to declare war on enemy duchies and counties. Imperial administration is a unique one in that it focuses on tax, prestige, and influence for the player. This is good for players who already have high levels of fame, as that is directly impacted by this skill, and are in a powerful family, as it means your family members cannot have their titles revoked without a title revocation reason. Also, do note there can only be one Imperial Admin Thema in the entire realm. Lastly, there is the Naval Administration, available to coastal Themas, which sort of blends elements of the frontier, military, and civilian administrations. It also gives you the option of expanding along the coast with a Naval Duchy expansion casus belli, so this is a good one to pick if you're expansionist minded or if you have family members to spare for newly acquired Themas along the coast. Now, from time to time as a governor, you will see duties crop up throughout your realm. These are issues for you to solve or events for you to take advantage of, with your governor trait directly impacting the number of ways you can resolve them. Interestingly, to solve an issue, you have to physically be there, so you will have to travel within your Thema to solve them, unless they happen to be in your residential barony. You can, of course, fail these like any other task in the game, and they have their own negative modifiers if that happens, or if you choose to ignore them. On top of everything else I've mentioned, governors can also assign duties to their vassals to make them focus on specific tasks. It may also interest players to know that while administrative governors can and will have non-administrative vassals, these individuals cannot become governors or be put up for these titles, as they have no legitimacy or influence within the administrative system. Emperors and governors can, however, influence certain vassals to adopt administrative government if they so wish. The only other way to become admin beyond this as a feudal or tribal government would be as an empire, adopting admin via a decision which comes at a great cost. Now, say you're an individual and you happen to scheme and put various family members in positions of importance, be that governorships or the Emperor's Council. These efforts will put your family higher in line to become what is known as a powerful family. Powerful families are basically the most important people in the realm. These are families with huge amounts of influence based on the number of territories and positions of importance they control, and as a result, they get various discounts to their schemes or promotions. This status also influences their investment cap that I mentioned earlier. There can only be 5 powerful families at once, although that doesn't mean there always will be. The Emperor's family is also always a powerful family, but does not count towards that total. The ratings of a house, or how the game determines if they are powerful or not, is dependent on a variety of parameters, such as how many governorships the family holds, the buildings in their estate, or if they have family members on the Emperor's Council, to name a few. These powerful families have access to something known as a family attribute, which is accessed via the Dynasty tab, and there are 14 of these. Each attribute offers its own bonuses given to both the family and the Emperor, meaning if the player is the Emperor, then this is just one of the many things to consider when promoting certain families to positions of power. The AI will never change their family focus, while the player can do this at the cost of just a minor time-based cooldown. If your family does happen to get to the point where they control 25% of the realm per governorship, then they become a dominant family, although this is uncommon. But this basically gives you everything a powerful family would have to an even greater degree, and your attributes give no bonus to the Emperor, which is pretty crazy. Now, something we haven't touched on yet, but is equally as exciting, is the new estate system, which the heads of these noble families have access to as an additional means of progression. Family estates are, well, your home, and managed by this lovely screen done in this medieval tapestry style, with variations to the background and art depending on your location within the realm. Estates will generally start beside your current governor province's capital. In the case where you're a landless administrative family, meaning you don't have a governorship yet, you can just move your estate wherever you want. You can move your estate as a governor as well, anywhere throughout the realm, so long as it's not at war, for a small fee, and a 6-month cooldown between moves. Each family's househead within an administrative government controls an estate, but only those individuals. If you are a secondary member, you don't get one. Even at level 1, every estate starts with a mansion, or your main structure on the estate, which is the only building you cannot demolish. In addition to the mansion, there are 6 building slots in total, with 2 available to you at level 1, and additional slots unlocked depending on your mansion's upgrade level. As with the game's counties and duchy buildings, there are more estate buildings than slots, so being strategic is important, but you can also just demolish something if you don't like it, with the only cost to you being the gold and time it takes to build a new building. Buildings and their upgrades, like your province buildings, can only be made one at a time as well. Most buildings only have individual levels to upgrade, with a few having multiple branches of progression with various bonuses and changes provided to incentivize their investment. It'll be up to you to decide what you want to do. The mansion also has levels and upgrades rooms basically within the mansion itself with their own individual levels as well. As you can see, there's a lot of options. The idea is to make your upgrades and buildings work in concert to provide the best possible bonuses to you and your family while also giving you an in-depth system to work with over many generations. Now, we spent much of this video discussing governors, estates, the use of influence, schemes, and everything else, but it's important to remember that ultimately, the emperor is the final authority within the realm and has the power to do everything from assigning the state faith, the literal government-mandated religion of the realm, setting the imperial bureaucracy level, which is the admin version of crown laws, and revoking or creating governorships in the realm's various provinces. The easiest way to picture everything is as a big machine that, while the emperor is at the top of, they are likewise a part of, and just as subject to the various machinations of the realm as anyone else, and must actively work to ensure the stability of the administrative state, as the volatile and caustic nature of successions and politicking means meteoric rises from nothing to huge importance are not only common, but encouraged. But that's it for this video covering the administrative governments in Crusader Kings III. I want to thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, as I will be discussing the ever-exciting features of landless characters very soon, and I promise you, you will not want to miss that.